It's time for the bridge, and we've got you covered. We're over in the low country at Needlepoint Junction. We're going to learn how to do a little needlepoint today. So get your needles and yarn ready. The bridge starts now. Well, hello everybody and welcome to the bridge. I'm WSAV's Natalie Hendricks. As you know, we've taken the bridge from the studio to the streets, and today we're on Hilton Head Island. We're inside Village at Wexford, Needlepoint Junction. That's right. You know, they say a stitch in time saves 9, and believe me, you can stitch until your heart is content at Needlepoint Junction, because guess what? They have everything you need to get started. Check this out. Joining me now to talk about Needlepoint Junction is Michelle K. Green, the owner here. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you, Natalie.
So great to see you. So let's talk about Needlepoint Junction. This place is incredible.
Oh, thank you. Well, we are a knitting, crochet, needlepoint store. We carry all supplies needed to do all sorts of needle arts, because we really think of ourselves as a needle art store.
So now you talk about needlepoint. I know there's needlepoint, there's stitching, there's crocheting. What is the difference between all of these things? Or is it basically the same thing?
It's not the same thing. It really depends on what you're working. Obviously, there are different types of yarn used for different types of work. For instance, needlepoint. Back here you find our Merida threads. Everything from silk to cotton to wool blends. And depending on what you're working on will depend on what you choose. And my girl Jerry, who you'll talk to a little later, will go through some of that with you.
You know, I love the fact that you even have items that have a little sparkle in them, because you know every woman needs a little glam.
Absolutely. A little bling here and there never hurt anybody. And the threads these days allow themselves to be with all the sparkle based on the fact that they're made synthetically.
Right, and so it gives a little personality to whatever you're working on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Needlepoint Junction, it's such an incredible place. It's more than just a store.
Yes, we're a community. We are a family. We are people who love what we do, whether we're knitting, whether we're crocheting, whether we're doing embroidery or cross stitch or needlepoint. We love what we do, and we love to share that. We love to share that passion with people outside of here.
So give me some examples on how you do that, because I know you're really a part of the community, but you have a lot of folks that are inside the store all the time.
We have different stitch groups that come in. We have our ladies who are knitting around the store today. We have a couple ladies who are needlepointing around the store today, and there's always somebody there to help them.
You know, Michelle, walking around the store, I'm amazed at the projects here and the beautiful things that are around, from ornaments and sweaters and scarves and all kinds of things, even jewelry. Oh, look at this, absolutely gorgeous. Now, this was this something that was done here?
Absolutely. So basically, this was beaded and needlepointed, and then it was finished. It was a self-finishing piece. So she just finished it with the bracelet.
So this is something that even I could do.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's not all about just a sweater or a scarf anymore. I mean, it's developed into jewelry.
It's jewelry, it's purses, it's seat chairs, it's blankets, it's pillows, it's anything you really want it to be.
But what about people who are watching right now and maybe they have never picked up a needle, they don't have any idea where to start? Do you have to be an expert when you walk in this store?
If you had to be an expert when you walk in the store, I wouldn't own the store, okay? So before I bought the store, I didn't do any of this. I sewed, I drew, I painted, but I never knitted. I never did crochet. I never needlepointed. I hooked rugs as a child with my grandmother. So the answer is no. You don't have to be an expert. All you have to do is have a desire to learn. And if you come in with an open mind, absolutely, you can pick it up just like that.
And here's the thing, you might just make a lot of friends and have a lot of fun doing it as well. Well, do you think I can try some things here? You know, I'm gonna walk around the store while the show's going on, but here's the thing, I wanna try some needlepoint. I wanna do something. Can I actually do it?
Absolutely, and we picked out a piece just for you.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to needlepoint artist Jerry Ryan. Hi, Jerry. It's great to
Nice
see
to
you.
see you, Natalie.
And
Thank
of course,
you.
we're still here at Needlepoint Junction, one of my favorite places.
Mine
now,
too.
how did you get involved with needlepoint?
My husband had a corporate job and we moved constantly. We moved 8 times in 18 years, and I found it to be a way to meet people every time I moved. And living in different cities, I was exposed to different teachers and different threads and different communities. And at one point when I moved here, I came in and got a job here about 23 years ago.
So needlepoint today is not the same needlepoint we saw years and years and years ago, and it's changing every day.
It does. We work on a canvas that's been hand painted by an artist. And when we see a certain one that kind of gets to us, we go, oh, we need to have that. And so we bring it into the store.
And you know, the great thing about Needlepoint Junction is not only is it a fabulous and amazing store, but you offer classes and you even teach private lessons.
Yes.
So let me ask you, now here's the big question here, Jerry. Is this something that I can learn?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're telling me that you can teach me a stitch
I
today.
have not had a failure yet.
Okay.
Now you don't get graded.
Okay,
There's
and I
no
don't
grades,
get graded.
No grade.
That's music to my ears.
No grades.
Okay, so let's try it.
Okay, absolutely.
Oh, what happens when that happens? Okay, that really didn't happen. And I can't see. Oh God, I cannot see this.
I can't see up close either.
Did I get it? No.
Okay, let me just show you something.
Okay, Jerry, the big question, how did I do?
Well, that looks pretty good to me, Natalie.
Pretty good?
Okay.
You think I could develop
You
my
get a
skills?
B plus. How's that?
A B plus, I
You
love
go, girl.
it.
All
You know,
right,
a lot of
B plus.
viewers watching right now, what would you say to them to get them to pick up the art of needlepoint and to try Needlepoint Junction?
I just think that we have a lot of fun in here, okay? And personally, I want to teach everybody how to do it because it's great therapy, okay? I get a great deal of satisfaction out of having my things framed, made into pillows, Christmas stockings, ornaments. I mean, there's just so much. We have so many grandmothers that come in here and start doing Christmas stockings for their grandchildren and ornaments to give away to people. And that's where people start, basically. But I just
And the
think
best
everybody
place to
should
start
know.
is right here at Needlepoint Junction
That's
if
right.
they want to.
That's right. That's right. Give us a call or come in.
That's right.
We love it.
Well, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Jerry.
Natalie.
This has
Thanks
been
for
wonderful.
having us. We've enjoyed having you here. It's been fun.
Oh, so cool. You know, what about you? Do you needlepoint? Well, we'd love to see your creations, so send them to us. We'd love to hear from you. You know, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can also email us at any time. That's thebridge@wsav.com. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of The Bridge right after this. When you own a property, sometimes it's difficult to manage it yourself. and you need a little help. Well, that's where our coastal expert comes in. Joining me right now is Teresa Cowart with Remax Accent. Hi, Teresa. It's great to see you again.
You too.
So I read on your website that you offer property management services. Can you tell me a little about that? Why should an owner use property management services?
Well, a lot of our owners didn't buy a home with the intention of ever leasing it. And they find themselves in a situation where they have to leave the area and the home hasn't sold and they need to lease it out. And they really don't have any idea how to do that. So they hire us, we're professionals, and we do know how to do that.
So Teresa, let's talk about the property management service that you offer.
Okay, so we're full service. So we actually take the process from the beginning all the way till the end and manage it everywhere in between. So when someone comes to us and says, we need you to manage our property, we take the property, we inspect the property, we have the professional pictures done, and we notate any damages or anything that needs to be done. We'll also work with the owner to get any repairs done. We know pretty much every vendor in town, and they give us some great pricing, so we work with them on that too. Then we advertise it, we screen the tenants, we do a move-in with the tenants once we find the right tenant. We do the move-ins, we again take the pictures, and all the rent, all the security deposits, everything flows through Remax Accent. Everything's online. It's very transparent and it's very easy for everyone to do. The owners have a portal, the tenants have a portal, you can see everything. You can
so the homeowners are very much involved then.
Absolutely.
They can view all account information during the entire process.
Right, and we send them the lease before the tenant ever signs it, so they get to review everything.
What about hidden fees or upfront fees?
There's no hidden anything. They have a management agreement. And mine is very clear. We're not really allowed to do anything without the owner's permission unless it's an emergency situation. If it is August and there is no air conditioning, I am going to call the AC company, even if I have to write a check out of my own pocket. You know, we've had some situations before, you know, where that has come up. And my owners, we really have a really great relationship with our owners typically, and they know, like, we're not going to do anything without their permission.
So you have an emergency contact person that's
absolutely
involved with your service 24/7.
Absolutely. We will take their call no matter what.
And what about military rates?
We do have a discounted rate for our soldiers, absolutely.
And that's something that's very important to you.
Absolutely. Military is very important to me. My dad's retired military, and some of our agents on our team, and actually one of the rental coordinators is married to a retired soldier. So yes, very, very important to me.
Now, let's talk about procurement-only services.
We do that. We don't have a whole lot of that, but if someone wants us to find them, advertise and screen for a tenant, we do that as well.
And for some of our viewers who may not be familiar with procurement-only service, what exactly is that?
I am not going to manage the property. I am only going to procure the tenant. So it boils down to I'm going to advertise for the tenant, I'm going to screen the tenant, and then I'm going to turn it over to the homeowner. And they're going to handle it from there. They're going to have the security deposit, they're going to manage it. And I'm going to just hand it over to them. Now, sometimes they will ask me to do the move-in and take pictures, but all that's going to be turned over to them, and it's their responsibility at that point. The price depends on how much they're asking me to do. And obviously it's all written, it's in a contract, we agree upon it ahead of time.
So Teresa, if someone's interested in finding out more about property management service that you provide with the Teresa Cowart team, what would they need to do?
They can either call me at 912-667-1881, or they can email rentals@teresacowartteam.com.
And your biggest piece of advice for someone looking for this type of service would be what?
Use a professional, because this can go squirrely really fast if you're not careful. We do annual checks and semi-annual checks. We do drive-bys all the time because people with great credit scores can still ruin your house in a hurry. So you need to make sure you're paying attention.
And of course, she says use a professional, and I say use an expert, and that's where Teresa Cowart's team comes in. Thanks so much, Teresa, for joining us. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
If you'd like more information on the Teresa Cowart team with RE/MAX Accent or any of our coastal experts, just check out our Coastal Experts page at WSAV.com. Welcome back to the Bridge on WSAV. You know, I'm having so much fun here at Needlepoint Junction, located in the village at Wexford on Hilton Head Island. You know, Needlepoint Junction is really such an amazing place. They're located right over, as I said, village at Wexford on Hilton Head Island. Michelle K. Green and her entire team of talented artists offer so many wonderful classes to help you create beautiful works of art. And here's the great thing, you don't even have to be an expert. So make sure you check out their website. It's Needlepoint Junction, HHI.com. You'll see it right there on your screen. And you'll find out an entire calendar of events and all the services and products they offer. You know, there's a talented artist over in the Low Country who's really getting a lot of national attention. Not only that, how about the attention of Martha Stewart, especially when his handcrafted sculptures were featured on American Made. Now his art is in high demand.
I specialize in coastal sculptures, handcrafted out of sheets of steel. So that's what I've been doing pretty much since 2001. It was a personal interest thing. I was on vacation in, I think, 1999, and I met a metal sculptor and just had some sort of a connection to what he was doing. And for some reason I looked at what he was doing and figured I could do something like that or better. So I got a mechanic to show me how to weld, and then I started taking blacksmithing courses. I won the American Made Martha Stewart Award, and it was basically a customer entered me into the contest, and I really didn't understand what it was going to entail, but it was a Audience Choice Award, and it was about 3 months of voting, and so and it was nationwide. And I guess what was really special about it was that we pulled in a few different communities. The Fusky community was a daily voter, and then obviously the people that follow me on the Ironfish Gallery, which is a nationwide thing. And then we had a group that we supported with the winnings. It was a $10,000 grand prize. And I pledged to give it to a friend of mine who has a child with a brain tumor. And so their whole support group and community got behind the voting, and that's how we won. I think that I'm a coastal enthusiast, so I'm a fisherman, I'm an outdoorsman, so you know, I think it was 2003, I went from making the garden art to I made a series of fish, and it was about that time that I put all the fish in the same spots that you see them right now. And Coastal Living was out doing a feature on the resort, and I think they just kind of drove past and said, can we do a feature on you? And so they did, and you know, that launched the website, the Ironfish, or ironfishart.com, and yeah, the rest is history. There were so few people out here that I thought it would give me a chance to have a captive audience, you know. So, and there's not a whole lot to do on the Fusky. Even though I'm out in the middle of nowhere, they always talk about location, location, location. I thought, you know, it'd be a destination gallery, and you know, that's why it's unique. I hope that it gives them joy, and you know, it's always really cool. It's a reminder that you know, if you follow your dreams, every time I hear about someone that bought something 10 years ago or 5 years ago, it just reminds me, you know, every day's living the dream, and not to take it for granted. Those good things that we forget every now and again.
Such a unique talent. Okay, if you'd like to see more of Chase Allen's work, go to his website. You'll find that at ironfishart.com. Speaking of amazing work, I'm still here at Needlepoint Junction over in the Low Country, checking out their wonderful pieces of art. Okay, and coming up right now, we're going to tell you about a woman that has to rely on different senses to create her art. And her story is one that is incredibly inspirational.
God surely knows
Each night on stage is a dream come true for Mandy Harvey.
how hard it is to say the truth.
It's who I am. I've always been a musician, and the blood, the sweat, the tears, I love every moment of it.
Home without you.
Her connection with the audience is undeniable. But for nearly a decade, this 27-year-old hasn't heard any of the applause or even the music. After battling gradual hearing loss throughout her childhood, Mandy's worst fears were realized as a college freshman when the music stopped.
I broke, and I remember thinking, well, what do I do now?
What was it like for you in those moments?
Like I died. I watched myself die.
It took a year for Mandy to even think about singing again. But eventually, with encouragement from her dad, she tried. Mandy's pitch was perfect. Her voice had never left her.
There was that awareness of, yeah, that worked.
That opened up a door for me. And from there, I kind of hit the ground running.
8 years after losing her hearing, Mandy has released 3 albums, with 2 more on the way.
You give me chills. Okay. It's been wonderful.
Much of her audience has no idea she is deaf.
Jazz is such an improvisational style of music. If you can't hear what's happening, how do you do that?
It's a lot of faith and a lot of visual contact with the other musicians.
Mandy feels the tempo through the floor. She reads lips and relies on the muscle memory of her brain and technology to find her notes. And while she knows her story is a source of inspiration, she doesn't want it to define her.
I don't see myself as the deaf jazz singer. To me, I'm just a singer. And I have certain hurdles, and I'm overcoming them.
Show me a love I've never known.
Hurdles that have made her stronger and more determined to share the music inside her.
Okay, that's going to wrap it up for our show today. We want to thank you for watching The Bridge. Now remember, you can see The Bridge Monday through Friday at 11:30 right here on WSAV. And if you have a story idea for us, or you'd like to send us a message, or if you'd like any information on anything you see on The Bridge, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can also email us at any time. You know we love to hear from you. That's thebridge@wsav.com. And as always, keep your eyes open. Our Bridge cameras are always out and about, and you never know when you might be joining us next on The Bridge. See you next time.